Welcome in Hungary, and
Thank
thanks
you.
for this possibility to create this interview. First, I would like to ask you about your journey. So when you look back, how you became the general, and I have read that you started from Catalonia. You worked in Africa, and then you went to Rome. But what was the best inner experience that most shaped your vocation?
So I think that you have used, thank you very much, I'm happy to be here.
Yeah.
I'm happy that it's being you who is in this interview, so thank you. And I think that you have taken a very good verb, this to shape. I love this verb, shaping, because you don't shape, and especially with when someone is an artisan, you don't shape something at once. You need time, you need tact, you need care to shape something. So it is not once at all, so it is shaping in gerund, so it's in making, in moving, in motion. So I wouldn't say just one moment. I have special moments. Of course, I have summits. I remember this ecumenical congregation that is rooted in France, in Lyon, well, near Lyon. Let's say that for me, they were kind of a school of prayer. So if we can say I improve my prayer, or if you prefer, or I prefer this expression, I go deeper in my spiritual life with them, through them. So yeah, I have like brighting moments in Tezem or in some meetings. I love very much Piarist mission, so I enjoy very much in summer camps. I enjoy very much what it was Carles Gil Sch.P, but 30 years ago, 40 years ago when I was a child, and then when I was a teenager. I also was committed. I was very lucky, so I had a very good environment, so my parents support me. I had fine teachers. At that time in Catalonia, there were enough Piarists, so I met one Piarist that invited me, he was 15 or 17, 16, that he invited me to volunteer and to be committed, especially for the poor ladies in Barcelona. So maybe there are like these three ways that shaped my Piarist life: this spiritual life, later on community life, and this ministry life of Piarist. So this is working summer camps, educating, and being committed through volunteering with the poorest ladies. And I work with ill people. So there is an Italian congregation called Cotolengo that they have a hospital in Barcelona, that they hosted deformed people. They're really the latest, the least of the society. Sometimes they were abandoned. And I went there once a week to give food, because even some of them, they couldn't move. So literally you have to nourish them. So this contact with not just the poor, but the most vulnerable of society is something that always was with me. And these three touches, let's say, shaped me, or they are shaping me.
Wow. And what's the best story with these ill people, what you have had, or the most beautiful story?
So maybe I can explain two or three. Let's just pick two of them. The first day I went there, I think it was 50. I am in December. I was born 23rd of December, so always I was the smallest of the class. I thought probably it was 16 generation, but at that time I should be 15. And I went to this hospital, Cotolengo, and the first day when I came back home, I couldn't eat. It was so touching. Because even I remember they attached me for me, because you have to create kind of a relationship. So there was one man who was ill, Jose, it was called in Spanish, Joseph, and he hadn't the muscles to throw,
to swallow.
To swallow, sorry. And then you have to feed him. He was coughing. Very difficult moment, but I had to do this. It was so easy, just give him food to him. It was having lunch, his lunch. But it was overwhelming. It was maybe beyond my capacity of integrating, of embodying things. And maybe the second one, when I was maybe a bit older, I used to collaborate with Sisters of Mercy, Sisters of Calcutta, again in Barcelona. And it is just to show how patterns are so different, because again, I was serving meal, and I had to serve like milk for them, and I used to serve milk as we properly do, like this water that is not filling the glass, because it's not so polite. But politeness does not come then, so politeness does not matter then. And somebody asked, no, fill my glass of milk. So he is right. Why I'm doing this polite thing of not fulfilling the glass? Because what they want is milk, and what they want is food. So it was like shifting of paradigms. My paradigm of kind of polite gentleness, and paradigm of need. So if this milk, so fill my glass of milk. So
wow. It's really touching. And this helped you to your journey to become a Piarist as well. So it was this job that you have had as a young man.
Yeah.
Or what was the moment when you decided to become a Piarist?
See, yeah, I think that it's like connecting the dots. You know? Connect the dots, and then. I think that we are invited to question ourselves major questions in our life. And maybe sometimes we think that we know that questions because they are the very same questions. But because they are major, that's why they are the very same questions and they don't change. So I think in life maybe we have 3, 4, 5 questions, no more, that they will accompany the whole of our life. Intelligence, it comes from Latin, intus legere, so it means to read inside. So maybe to be a bit intelligent, or to have intelligence, not to be intelligent, but to have intelligence is this ability to read ourselves through these major questions that can give us guidance. So then through these major questions, I was connecting my dots, and I discovered, I love spiritual life, and prayer is meaningful for me. I like being in community, so I like participating in groups. I like sharing my life. I like austerity, and it is close to religious life. I love teaching. I love being an educator, although at that time I was a lawyer when I decided to become a Piarist. Wow. And then I think that it is not fair where we live. And we have to build, or we have to co-build, being co-builders, building with others, a more just or fair world. So connecting these dots, I thought, Batorshak, courage, then I jumped.
Wow, it's really nice. And now you are the general of the Piarist, and I would like to ask you that what is the future and what is the mission of the Piarists in the 21st century, or from your side?
So thank you. Let me, just by chance, I am general by accident, because it is absolutely true. It's like okay, and because our rules consider case or when general pass away. This is fortunately not our case, or the general is dismissed, neither, or the general is promoted. And being promoted in our rules, it means that he becomes a bishop. And our general, he has been 3 times general of the order, Pedro Aguado. He has become bishop of Huesca and Jaca. So, and he was appointed, by the way, by Pope Francis. And so maybe he's one of the bishops of Pope Francis. And then when he became bishop, our rule says, okay, open an envelope, let's see the name that is written there. And it happened that my name was written there. And then I took over. And so that's why I'm general here. So it's
and were you ready for this role? Or?
So I built, so it has to be someone that belongs to the general congregation. So we were 4. And Pedro Aguado is the one who is, the general always writes a name. So he wrote my name. This is secret, by the way, so nobody knows it, just he and his conscious.
Wow.
So, and when I opened, it was kind of astonishing, kind of vertigo under my feet, the void under my feet. But then I think, maybe I jump into another question, but I thought, okay, we have a good team. So this is the team that we have. and they are my brothers, they are my colleagues. I work very well with them. So I have a very good team indeed. So the 4 general assistants, they are bright and they are fully committed, and there is a huge complicity among us. So everything is already thought and decided, because 90 people were gathered in Mexico in 2022. This is our last general chapter, and during 21 days they were reflecting how to do, how should be the policies, the strategies of our order. So strategy is established, is settled. I have a good team. So 2 years and a half, so let's go. It encouraged me.
And so what is the mission of the Piarist?
So the main mission of Piarist was settled 400 years ago through Calasanz, and especially now we will say boys and girls. So it is educating boys, girls and youth people and their families, maybe today we will add, because we cannot educate alone. If we can educate in a comprehensive way, we have to take into account families, because in reality they are the first educators. So when children get to the school, we are the second educators, the one who say hello and wake up the children and give breakfast and asking people are parents. So they are the really true and first educators. Okay, and with both we create a beautiful community. So educating boys and girls and youth and their families, especially those who are most vulnerable, through poverty, through existential peripheries, through emotional gaps or psychological issues. So something that makes you more vulnerable. So we have to have an eye, special eye on them. This is our mission. Also, Calasanz told us, and we should reform, he said that in Latin, it's beautiful, reformatio republicae. So it is reform society. It is a way of saying reform, improve society. So it's just not enough being a good teacher or being a good alumni. After 3 of us, we are alumni of Piarist, but you have to be a change maker. You have to be like, in our terminology, in our vocabulary, we would say change maker, we would say entrepreneur. So what are you going to do to improve society in your position with your studies?
Wow. How is it possible in this modern and diverse world to bring this idea and remain alive and remain relevant in this changing world? So how can the Piarist teaching and pedagogy stay between us?
Okay. If I understand properly your question, I think that the answer could be staying not under, but maybe let's reformulate it, living our identity. Living our identity. If we remain faithful to our charism, if we remain faithful to our identity, and faithful is not just fixing it, like plastifying it. No, I love this expression of creative identity or creative fidelity. It means that it is a fidelity that is growing. You are the self you because you are Levi, but you are not the same as you were when you were in this high school. So you have the same being. So there is kind of an identity that makes you Levi, but you are the same you as 55 years or 6 years ago. So this is not mine. This is Paul Ricoeur when he talked about ipse and idem. So there is kind of identity that makes things that we can recognize it. So this is, you are Piarist and I can recognize you. But there is an identity that makes and updated to time and to context. So we have to play a difficult game, it's not an easy one, how to remain faithful to our very first genuine charism, so we can discover ourselves being Piarist and sons and daughters of Calasanz, but at the same time, being in a society that is 400 years later, and in Hungary, and in Congo, and tomorrow I'm flying to Japan, and to Japan, how to manage it. And it is difficult but not impossible, and I think that we can get to it. If we live this identity, if we remain being Piarist, I think that we will become meaningful. Because what we have to do is just being meaningful. I think that we shouldn't remain fixed in our identity and create kind of a struggle with society, like a kind of what is called now these cultural wars that I don't love at all, this name, by the way. Neither being this contemporization, so we are glad with everyone, you say hello, I say hello, and then kind of a Pax Romana, that it's like a very formal Pax, peace, but not a profound one, not a deep one. Neither avoiding and just being in our eremites, in our mountains, doing our own society.
And it means that the Piarist identity is the same worldwide. So if I'm going to Congo and I will meet a Piarist high school student, then he will have the same education that I had here in Hungary.
So absolutely, it is not going to be the same curriculum, of course, because this is Hungary, Congo is Congo. So curriculum will change, and curriculum is something that comes from a state mostly, especially in Africa, because there are countries where the state intervenes a lot into curricula of children. But the style, the how will be, the what will change, because it has to change the what. So the content will change, but not the how. The style, the approach, pedagogical approach, the values, the how, the approach, methodology would be rather the same, if it can be the same. So, because if I have a class where we are 20, the way English, it is not the same, foreign language is not the same if we are 20, and we have 2 teachers, and we are 50 or 80, and we have 1 teacher. So, of course, methodology will change because of context. But values, the pedagogical perspective, the didactical approach will be the same, especially values, that it's what matters the most. And horizon, we are sharing the same horizon. This is your autonomy, not independency, but autonomy. It means that you are going to coexist with others.
Wow, and it's really beautiful, and in Hungary I can also feel the same. So if whenever I meet with a Piarist alumni, then we have also this connection between us. So it's working. And
thank you. Thank you, because you are very good pointing out, because something is what we want, the thing is what we get. I don't know if in English, I don't have the proper word in English, but we talk on values and attributions. Values is what we want to live, and attributions is what they think that we are living. So, so maybe when we say, we want to have a very autonomous life, and children or students, they say, no, you command, there's no space, there's no room for autonomy. So there is a gap between what we want, what we are writing as values, and where people, they understand that we are living. So let's do our best, not to be a gap. So what we want through values, it is the same perception that people have of us.
So closing the gap between the values and attribution is the main goal.
What we want and what they perceive. It means that we are honest, that we're doing our job.
Oh, it's beautiful. And what can a Catholic, or especially a Piarist school, offer to young people that a public school cannot?
So, maybe, I think, if you allow me, maybe the question should be, maybe, of course you are free of putting your question as you want, but just to underline the thing that I'm about to share with you, I am not so interested if public school is offering or not offering. Or maybe I could say I'm interested the public school also offers what we want to offer. So, because if we are convinced, if we generally think that we should, for instance, I think that we can offer references or reflection or experiences or a spiritual life that will sustain us. So we can offer sustainability, not in a finance way of speaking, but making your life more sustainable. So when you have a crisis in your 40s or in your 50s, you have an accident, whatever happened in your life, you are able to have your own resources to move on and to get on. And in this ontological desert, that I like this very much, this expression, we find references, we find pillars, columns that support us. I think that these things Catholic school should offer through faith, through people, through community, through engagement, through commitment. And I think that they are offering this. And if we think that this is important, public school should offer. So we are not seeking for difference. Mm-hmm. In this sense, I don't mind if they offer or they don't offer, because it is not that we are looking for difference. I think that we should seek what we want to offer, our own identity, not to be different. It's like Jesuits, Benedictines, Piarists. I don't mind if our schools are the same. Maybe marketing or people who are doing inscriptions, they will see, we should have something that distinguishes us. This is a pity, I think. This is a pity. Because if we think that we have to offer this, let's offer this. And if we think that this thing that we are offering is good for society, let's scale up this. So the more, the higher is my leverage, the better. So if we can collaborate with the government, we're going to do this. If we can collaborate with public schools, we are going to do this. If we can spread our mind or spread our thought or good idea with public schools, let's share it.
Wow. It was a really good answer. Thank you. And how is it possible to evangelize in a school that mainly offers compulsory programs if the awakening of faith fundamentally requires personal freedom and voluntary openness?
Yeah.
So how is it possible to give the faith to the young people if they have to get it and they can't choose it?
This is a very good question. This is a very smart one. Thank you. And so imagine, so countries are like mysteries, not like mysteries, but every country is so single, so different. So there are countries because of dictatorship, or I think on two countries, Cuba or Vietnam, where we are present. By the way, Cuba, by the way, we have been in Cuba for 200 years, almost 200 years. It has been the first country in America that we founded them 200 years ago. And I think that we have had the biggest school ever in Guanabacoa. So it is a very massive school, so interesting that through this school we could finance in Barcelona. It's the world all the way around. Now we have in Cuba. Cuba, 100 years ago, helped us in Barcelona to build schools. So now in Cuba, this is the desert, especially in private education, but in private Catholic education, because simply the government does not allow it. Or in Vietnam, it is the same example. In other countries, we have been expelled. In other countries, there is no collaboration, public collaboration with private schools. That I don't like the name private school. I do prefer third sector. So first sector is public school, public sector. Second sector is private sector, and third sector is what we are. So with a private initiative, with a public vocation. Because Piarist, as many other NGOs and religious orders, they are for all. So it is technically what is called third sector. Mm-hmm. So we are third sector. We are not second sector. We are not private sector. That's why I think that we should deserve sustain of countries. But if countries they not sustain us, so subventions, what happens is the families they have to pay a lot, especially in Europe. So every country is different. And curricula, it is the same thing. There are some countries where they are more compulsory. Sometimes it is because of the level of teachers. There are some countries, sometimes it happens in some continents, by the way, where there is no a lot of faculties of science of education or pedagogy. And when your teacher is not so well trained, you are afraid of what I do in class, so then you develop a very compulsory curricula. So if it is Monday and it is first hour, everybody is doing mathematics. Mm-hmm. So I am sure that the country is working. So I don't like it, but I can understand it because there are countries without universities. So it depends a lot. Of course, if we have a space to develop, I think that a balanced curricula is a good choice. So the state has his word, and maybe he has to have his proper word, And we think that this part of curriculum is very neat in our country and at this age, but I allow you 25%, 50% of your curriculum to develop it as you want. This is a good balance of curriculum. So you have space, you have room because we trust you. It is a trusting thing. So we trust you. We realize that you are a good educational actor. So you deserve our trust as a state, so do what you want in your school. So maybe you have the 50% of curriculum, and then 50 is for you, and develop as you want. And here you develop what you think that you can develop, for the best of our students, of course. Otherwise, in the worst scenario case, if curricula is so compulsory that any minute is forbidden inside the school, so okay, let's accept it. I cannot fight against government. I can try to captivate or to do some kind of advocacy. Let's do our best, but with a rare result sometimes. So let's develop dopo scuola. Let's develop after schools program. So in short, in short, so a balanced curriculum, I think it is the top, where the state has his word, but also institutions have their own word. And in the worst scenario case, let's develop an after-school curriculum.
So that's why usually a Piarist high school is a bit different than any other high school, if I can say so.
Yeah, I guess. And in every country it has its own touch. And in countries, again, where we cannot do a school, we do any other things, through parishes maybe, through social centers, or maybe there is even a public school, and we are in that public school, by the way, and we develop the after, or we have the spiritual care, and maybe you can offer activities during the scholar time, but not in the content and topics and subject time. So
it's not that easy.
Yeah. At all.
And in which country is the Piarist Order is the most successful in education, or in your opinion?
Yeah, but your questions are always tricky.
Yeah.
What is success in education? The best student? Yeah, the best grade in the student, the best ranking?
No, it's more likely so where can you educate the easiest?
Okay.
The young people.
Yeah, so there are a lot of reasons that again are mixed here and mingled. I think it's a very good question, by the way, reflecting on what is success for us. And I think it's a meaningful question for teachers, meetings, our community, educational communities. What is success for us? It is the one. Okay, it's a kind of, that's why I think it's a tricky question. Yes. In some countries, and this is just statistics, UNESCO, United Nations, OECD, so a lot of statistics in the world, fine statistics published, they will say, for instance, there is just 50% of the primary public education that they are attending a school, or 80%. So we are profoundly need there, because there are lack of schools, so we need more schools there, because just 80% of the children, they are attending a school. There's a very small difference here, but it's interesting to underline it. The soft difference, but a very important difference between attending a school and learning. Because in some countries, they say, okay, 80% of children, they attend a school. Yes, but they are 100 or 80 in one class, or maybe they are 50, but there are two shifts with the same teacher. So at the end of the day, the teacher had 50 and 50, it make 100 students. So this is crazy. So who is learning there? Probably not these 80%. So let's distinguish properly children who attend class and children who learns in class. This is a very soft difference, but an important one. And so in these countries, we are profoundly needed, because this is a yes or no. This is 1 or 0. So you are, whether you are not. There is a school, whether it's not a school. So we are needed there. In some countries, fortunately, like in European countries, let's say, where almost 100, because it's compulsory, all those 100% of population are attending a school, there are other ways of needs. And that's why also we are expected there, we are hoped there. What I think, especially Piarist, it is my statement, I think that of course in history that there has been mistakes and not everyone is doing good things everywhere, but mostly we are good news. So I dare to say, yes, I think that we are expected, people is waiting for us everywhere. Because where we have been in populations, in cities, in villages, we have improved environment, we have improved societies. And say it with a lot of modesty. With a lot of modesty. It is not just, it is not a kind of showing up commentary. It's just a contrast commentary. That what I'm saying, it's close to truth. Let's say. In this sense, I say that we are expected everywhere. In some countries, there is still a pact of trust between families and school, and it's wonderful when it works. Whereas there is no suspicion when you believe that teachers are doing a good job and you are not rejecting. There are some countries, Levi, that is a very bad news, by the way, where we have a lawyer in every school, not a psychologist, not a pedagogist in every school, a lawyer, just to understand the level of contest and contestation and discussion in that school.
So in one sentence, if you would like to say the success of the Piarists is that if you could change the society in a country.
Yeah. So what is success? Yeah, being a change maker. So changing again with a lot of modesty, with humility. It's not just alone. It is so evident that the school is so communal, communitarian. So let me say something into brackets. In some countries, by the way, there are like best stars, like stars in Hollywood, teachers that they are stars because they have followers in YouTube and whatever, and they say, we have hired Levi, so next year Levi is going to be with us. It is a pity because school in these societies are not understood as a community. And good schools, they work because we don't change teachers every year, so they can become a community. So when teachers' meetings, they become a community, these schools work better. So in every medal, let's say, it is a communitarian, is a community medal, so every success that we have. And a success is just changing a life, maybe through a scholarship. So, or maybe through a school there. So there weren't schools there, now we have schools. They couldn't afford schools, through subventions, through scholarship. Now this family can attend the school. And which is the difference? That in some countries, the Abitur in Germany, I don't know the exact name in Hungarian, back in French. So this exam that allows you to go to the university. In some countries, it's just 15%, 20%, 30%. In public schools, in our schools, 100%. So this is a passport. So having this exam is a passport for your life, because you can attend university, because you can have studies, university or professional training. So it's not that you have to go to the university, but at least you have a passport. It means that you have superior education or a better job. So better job, better skills, better life. So if we can give this, I think that we are changing lives with modesty, communitarian success.
Wow, that's beautiful. I would like to ask that so there is a lot of Piarist youth movements like this Kazan's movement also in Hungary. And how can they support the development of personal relationship with God? So from your side.
I think by offering it. Yeah, because sometimes God is quite hidden. So, and yeah, there are societies, because of time or place, it changes, of course. God is more present in our daily life. Sometimes because there is a will of some politics parties or whatever, there is no so quite evident. So, and that's why in many years ago, in the late 60s, it was Henri Gaudin, is a French theologist. He wrote a book called France, Pays des Missions, France, Country of Mission. So mission is not elsewhere, it's not traveling, it's not going to exotic country. We, in France, 100 years ago, maybe, in 1960, we need mission. So, and especially in Europe, in some countries, there's a gap of transmission of faith. There's a gap of having real possibilities to discover God. And we talk on first catechesis. And it's like that the first, like in films, the first missionaries, they went maybe in America 400 years ago or 500 years ago, and you evangelize for the very first time. In some places of Europe, we have to evangelize for the very first time because we have lost 2 generations of people lost. But I am not judging it, but this is a reality. And maybe in these movements, we can offer this space, we can offer this room, and always an offering, of course, but the offer exists. And just because it exists, it is so meaningful. If we can improve a little bit more, and we can entertain, and we can take care of this offer, and reflect on the language, reflect on the comprehensibility of the offer, oh, then this is great. And I think that Carles movement is doing a good job in this way.
Yeah, I hope so.
And we hope so.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And there is, if I'm correct, 15,000 youth in this movement. So.
Yeah, and it's increasing.
Yeah, it's crazy as well. I would like to shortly close this interview, but before that I have a question, also personal, but it interests me. So if Joseph Cousins would be here today, what do you think he would ask from you?
If Cousins were now here?
Yes, what do you think that he would ask from you?
The first thing, I don't know if he will ask something for me, but I will ask something for him. Is pray for me. Pray for me. So a hug maybe, because it's not just praying, but it's an emotional thing. So a hug, yeah, that reconforts, because there are so many challenges. But maybe I think that he will say, go on, you're in the good way, Batorshag. So yes. Courage. So you're doing well. So not you, Carles, of course, you, Piarist. So the 1,400 Piarists of the world, lay women and men that belong to our fraternities, alumni like you, for instance, teachers, families. So you are in the good way, because we are reflecting a lot on what we have to do. We are trying to have the maximum agreement that we can, the consensus. So you have a wide agreement, you have a horizon, you have hope, you are meaningful. So try to work that tomorrow you can multiply life. So maybe in this Batorshag, behind this Batorshag is hidden. So work so tomorrow you can offer more life.
Wow, it's beautiful. And what is your message to the Piarist youth? What would you like to send them as a last question?
So maybe grow, because they are youth, they are not complete. This is maybe we are finishing as we are start with this shaping. So let's grow, let us be shaped, and shaping its time, shaping its trust, shaping its community, family, friends, Carles movement, school alumni, good professional environment, so community. And let's grow in 3 ways. Let's grow being smart, studying, doing the best that you can. So this is a long life formation. Let's grow in humanities. So let's grow in ethics. Let's grow in how are we discerning. And this is a wide learning, wide range. And let's grow in spirituality. So let's grow in deep learning. So long, wide, and deep learning. Grow, but in long, that is the common learning, but also wide. This is ethics, this is humanities, this is where I'm going to discern, and this is very important. And then deep, that is, there is a storm, I can resist it.
Thank you so much.
To you, for this time.
Wow, it was really nice. And after this conversation, I'm more happier to be part of this community, so it was really nice.
Anything that helps us to remain in a community is positive, it's adding. So if you're, even if it is a soft bound, like being alumni, but it is great.
Yes.
So, thank you to
Thank
you
you
both.
so much for your
Thank
time.
Thank you, Levi. Thank you, Vincent.